Welcome to Westmoreland Bulldogs, a podcast. I'm Kalani Marshall here with our superintendent, Rocco Migliori, and Kalani Zehr, who is the construction manager for Kestrel out of Cheryl. So how are you guys?
Wonderful. How are you?
Wonderful.
Good. Both of you busy, especially you, very busy.
Very busy.
So as many of you have seen, we've had a lot of construction happening here at the school. It is our capital project going on right now. So Rocco, if you want to touch on that a little bit, what is that about?
Sure, appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. So just as a reminder, I think most people in the community will remember that the school board asked that the community consider a capital project back last fall of 24. And there was overwhelming support for this $10.5 million project. So once again, thank you to the community for your unwavering support. So just as a reminder, some of the things that we asked for approval on were roof work in both the high school and the upper elementary school, new boilers and hot water heaters in the upper elementary school, new windows in both the primary and upper elementary school. The windows in the primary school were the original windows from 1965 construction. So they were about 60 years old. We also did some work on the fields. So resurfacing the tennis courts, resurfacing the track around the football field, new stadium seating, and replacing grass with artificial turf on the all-purpose field now, which will be used for soccer, football, potential lacrosse program, marching band, and everything else field work.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually began phase one of this project in the fall. We were able to get some of the roof work done at the high school just before winter. Phase two began the middle of May when we were able to shut down boilers and have access to some fields. So it's been activity ever since.
And there's been a lot going on at the field. So Kalani, I want you to touch on what you guys have done so far and how far you are.
Okay. So the field began with stripping the topsoil, adding under drainage for and sub base for the turf, which is basically there's probably a half-inch minus material, which is the sub base. You compact that, you get it tested, and then you do a finer grade stone, which is the final layer before the actual turf comes on. So that's substantially complete, I would say. We started that middle of May.
Okay.
Middle of May that was started. We've had a really, really great luck with our contractors, especially Murphy Excavating. They've knocked it out of the park. Turf install scheduled for middle of August to begin. They have a 2 to 3 week install period.
What does that look like? What does that process look like?
So they come in, basically stringline the field, make sure all their grades are good. They accept the conditions of the field, and then they begin laying this field, turf field in particular, gets I think it's a 2-inch pad, which is added protection for athletes, concussions, all the stuff that we're all aware of now. And then they basically roll out the large majority of the the turf itself. They stitch it together. They do all their line work, and then they come back in and use their fill with the. This is actually going to be an organic fill, which I think will be one of the first ones in northern New York to have the cork and fill.
So we have props.
We have props.
That's the padding.
So let me hold this up. So this is, what is this?
That's the padding underneath the turf.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is going to make the field obviously much softer.
Yes.
Playing on grass, I've heard from some of the football players, is a little difficult.
Well, given the region we're in too, I
Yeah.
mean, I think a lot of the schools are going to turf because grass fields are great, but they're not exactly weather permitting given the seasons and where we are with the climate.
Yeah, I don't think people think about that either. The weather. I know
No.
weather does play a big factor, but
Yes.
when you're playing a football game, it
Yep.
gets difficult when it gets muddy
Yes.
out there, and
Yeah.
really any other sport too. You're
Yeah.
playing
Yep.
On grass. So
Yes.
anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I'm excited for
No,
this
you're
prop.
good. So yeah, and then so that's basically a 2 to 3 week period that they have from start to finish of the turf install.
So the turf install itself should be done in September, probably
In
weather
August.
permitting.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
We're hoping by Labor Day, and then the field lighting. I know that's another exciting thing, is brand new field lighting to be able to play under the lights for the athletes. Those are scheduled to ship out Labor Day, and then probably 3 to 4 weeks of install before those are hoisted and ready to go. So hopefully by October 1st, October 15th, we're done with the completely done with their field.
Again,
100%.
we do have to factor in weather, so
Yes.
just remember that weather does play a big role in how fast things get done here.
Yes.
Can I mention one other thing
Yeah,
about the
go
turf
ahead.
that I think it's important to remind folks too. So the seating capacity out there is being doubled. We're doubling the size of the stadium, and it was primarily with the thought that perhaps down the road we can get a marching band competition here.
Mm-hmm.
Our marching band is wonderful, one of the best in the area, and we've never had the opportunity to have a home competition. Because we just haven't had the facility that could accommodate such a thing. So we are doubling the size of the seating, in hopes that we will be able to get
And
one.
it would be really nice to see them in an actual
Be
competition
great, great.
because they have to go out to Syracuse for that.
Or further even.
Yeah, they do have to go further.
Yep.
So we don't ever get to really see the competitions that they participate in. So bringing it here would be really awesome for our community.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yes, it would.
Yeah,
It'd be nice to showcase that here, and for the community members here to be able to come and see a competition without having to travel.
Yeah, exactly. Something to do. And I think that's, I think we talked about that in our capital project too, is like revenue wise, it's going to help. A lot of schools are going to want to come here. A lot of people are going to want to come here. And we're in a great location. We're right off the thruway. It's not much. You don't have to travel far to get here. So it's like almost like a direct location, and it's very convenient for people.
With a lot of parking.
Yes.
Ample parking, yep.
Yeah, so the stadium seating, I guess I'm trying to picture, is it going to be in the same area, just more seats?
Adding on to both sides of the existing stadium seating, with a handicap accessibility, of course.
Okay.
So it'll still be centered with additions on either side.
And those lights are probably going to change the football schedule in the future. I don't know about this year, but possibly next year or...
Exactly, because we didn't schedule night games this year, not knowing the
we didn't know
completion
what it was
date.
going to be.
Right, certainly for the 27-28 school year.
Okay. The tennis courts, because I see those are, you're doing something to those. Can you tell us what you're doing with those?
Yes. So the tennis courts were completely ripped out and regraded. All new fence posts went in. The paving is complete. The curing period on that, I think, is 30 days on your tennis courts. So we're hoping beginning of September, middle of August, to resurface the tennis courts. And then after those cure, we're hoping to get those back to the school by fall sports.
Okay, so you're. It seems like you're looking to get this all done before the snow.
Yeah,
or most of it done.
Hopefully before school starts.
Yeah.
Optimistically, we're pushing.
I was giving us some leeway there, just in case weather happens.
Well, if snow flies October 1st, then before the snow flies. But no, hopefully well before the snow, and hopefully before school is in session.
And I know we talked about like the windows up at the primary, elementary school and stuff. Is that done? Like, is that complete or?
The end of this week, those will be done. Yes. Yep.
And Rock, why were those so important to replace? They're
So
old.
energy efficiency, in both buildings, and the ones in the upper elementary are wooden, and there's been some warping over the course of the last 20 years, certainly. So they're going to be replaced with metal windows. I think that's going to start in a week and a half, and hopefully be done by Labor Day.
Yep. Those are scheduled to ship out and arrive to the site August 18th. They're basically going to get August 11th, 18th, and 25th, and then AJ Glass, who's our window contractor, has manpower available and ready to go to ensure us that schedule's met before school. So all those windows will be done, finished. Window blinds will hopefully be in as well, getting new window treatments, which is nice. We won't have the overlapping ones. The primary elementary, and then the upper will have new roller shades, which will be very nice for teachers.
And I know for people listening, that might seem like a little bit more minor than the football field, but these are just as important as the football field and the tennis courts. Why is that, Rocco?
The energy efficiency. Ultimately, it should save us money down the road in energy costs. Certainly. Also, I neglected to say in the upper elementary, there's no electrical, or the upper elementary, yeah, electrical work to replace all the fire alarm systems in there,
Yep,
in that
and
building.
safety is also important in a school.
New gym floor, which I also neglected to say, that floor was, original 25 years old. So that's going to give us the ability to play more contests there in the winter, volleyball, modified basketball, and such. That work actually began the middle of May before students were even out, with the hopes that it can be done by day one of this next school year. And it's on track, I believe, to be done by then.
It's really important to maintain our schools, kind of like how we maintain our houses.
It's an investment, right?
Right,
Absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely. Protect our investments. And speaking of which, the other thing I probably should mention was another foundation to this project was some of the mitigation work that we were doing behind the buildings because of the flooding that we've had over the last 10 to 15 years. And certainly a shout out to Oneida County, because we did apply for a grant about a year and a half ago to get some matching funds monies to replace some old drainage pipes behind the primary. And we're doing some work with cleaning out the retention ponds behind the upper elementary to hopefully reduce some of this flooding. We're waiting on DEC approval to have some of that work done, but so we talk about before snow flies. Our hope is to have that done before snow flies.
Yes.
Every year we're losing more and more land to erosion over here, so we definitely have to protect our investment in property here. That's the cornerstone of this project as well.
Yeah, so the kids are going to be coming back to some really fun sites, like different looks of the school. So I'm excited for them. I've been seeing it every day.
It's going to look cool.
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
That doesn't
It's
even
gorgeous. Everyone's seen that picture. We put it in a newsletter, and I was talking to Kalani before. Friday night football games are so, as someone who has experienced them in high school, they're so fun. Like, the kids look forward to it every Friday, that day of school. Like, oh, there's a football game tonight. Like, whose jersey are we wearing? Like, all this fun stuff. So it's going to be a different experience, but I think it's going to be a fun experience for these kids now, because we can also invite more schools here, because we have this nice turf, and I think schools are going to want to come here.
I would also add, better for the athletes to play a 7:00 game when it's at the beginning of September, when it's 80 degrees, as opposed to 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah, because I think I talked to a football coach about that. They said that because of, they had to extend their season a little bit, or something was weird with the time. And he said the turf would help them, because we would do Pop Warner, or he said we could do Pop Warner here if we wanted to as well. So it just gives us more options timing wise with doing things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And we'll be able to practice out there a little bit later. Now we're constricted by time. Obviously, at 7:00 it's dark.
Right.
By October,
fall, it gets darker,
we'll be able to practice out there a little bit later in the evenings too with the lights.
And can you touch on the safety aspect a little bit of the turf? Do you know?
So it's a great question. So we looked at a number of studies with our insurance company, with our attorneys, and with folks that we have networked with across the country, talking about those specific things. And we actually have Kalani can speak a little bit about this, but with the padding that you see there and the thickness of our turf, and rather than adding rubber infill to the turf, we're actually adding cork, which is organic infill, which is supposed to absorb some of the impact a little bit differently. And so all the studies that we have looked at shows that there's a decrease in injuries as a result of this. Actually, the infill that we're using, the cork infill, is what Major League Soccer is using all across Europe. Mm-hmm. So it's
there's just so much we can do.
So there's a lot of benefits.
There's really a lot that we can do with this turf now.
New walking track we're having trouble keeping the excited voters and community members.
Yeah,
can we walk on
I used to love walking the track in the summer, but obviously we can't be on it, which there's construction going on, so please stay off the track if you can. Please. All right, well, I think we've touched on everything, unless you two think we should talk about it a little more, or anything you want the public to know.
I guess we can keep updating you as we get closer to the start of school. If anything looks as though the timeline is going to be altered at all, but right now, It looks as though we're on track.
Yes, certainly.
I can't wait to welcome the kids back.
Yes,
It'll be fun.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining me. I
Thank you, Callahan.
appreciate you
Thank you,
taking
Rock.
some
Thank
time
you.
away
Thank
from
you.
your
Appreciate it.
construction job to do this.
Hey,
It's
thank-
very much appreciative.
Thank you.
For joining us.
thank you.
Have a good rest of the summer, everybody.